Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on the channel. In today's video we are going to do something a little bit different because I mainly talk about productivity and note-taking applications, but in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about habits and things that I will change in my note-taking to make me a better note-taker, because I do both project management for my social media and for my different project. I do that in my note-taking app, and that kind of note-taking, like note-taking related to different projects, I am really good at. But note-taking to come up with ideas, to spark creativity, to connect different ideas together that other people maybe haven't done before me, that part of note-taking, which probably is the most fun part, is something I am really bad at, or something I'm not prioritizing. And in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the things I am going to implement to make sure that that part of note taking will also be something I am better at. Because if we jump into my recents board right here and we go into social media dashboard, you can see that my social media things right here I'm really good at. So if we jump into any of these, I have some ideas on what I'm going to film. If we jump into my blog posts, I have quite a few of them here. So this part I am really good at, but it is the part right here. Let's see if I can find it. It is the part right here, which I am terrible at. So I will go ahead and I will open up these two, because this one right here will just be applications. I have a whole collection for my different applications that is really important so I can make these videos. Maybe I will actually spend time connecting this to different things as well, but here I have a bunch of different notes as well as books. And some of these might actually be connected. So let's say that a commonplace book and the bullet journal method was connected. I'm not saying that they are, but I'm saying that they might be. And I haven't actually spent the time to connect those two. So here is the things I am going to implement. The first one is that I'm going to get much better at capturing. So if I just jump into here like this one, even though this is a really good podcast, I can't even remember what this is about. And when I go through and I read some of the things, the main issue here is that I used an application to capture all of this. I used Snipped, which isn't necessarily bad. Like I could actually just capture these in Snipped, but I have to then go in here and I have to actually filter out like distilling. So I would have to distill things, but not only distill, I would probably want to write a sentence or write the sentence in my own words. I think that is really important to note taking. And for longer documents like this one, I should probably spend a couple of minutes to synthesize everything at the bottom here with my own notes. And I get that not everyone can do this. Not everyone can spend 15 to 20 minutes going through a note like this and actually synthesizing everything at the bottom with your own words. But I think you could at least spend a couple of minutes to write something, no matter what it is, in your own words. I think that is really important and something that is really underrated in the note taking. So I will change up my capturing habits a little bit. I will either write the whole thing in my own words instead of just clipping it from the internet, unless it is something I want to directly quote at some point, then I will, of course, just clip it as it is. But for most things, I will capture it with my own words. I might clip it into my note-taking app, but then I will rewrite it so it makes sense to me. And I will do exactly the same things for my books. So here I have a lot of Kindle highlights, a lot of them. And some of them might be things that I can still remember, and some of them might be things that I have completely forgotten about. So, what I want to do when I'm finished with the book is not necessarily distilling it, but rewriting things in my own words. So, maybe actually distilling it as well. I'm not quite sure how what I would call it, but what I actually want to do is whenever I am reading non-fiction books, I want to, whenever I'm done with the chapter, write a couple of sentences in my own word about what that chapter is about and put that in my note-taking app alongside all of these things I have captured, all of these things from the book right here, all of my highlights. So that is something I am going to do. I'm going to change up my capturing and the way I capture notes, but that isn't the only thing. I have had something I call the 30-minute rule, which means that I every single weekend when I do my weekly review, I actually sit down and I go through some of my notes. I tend to go through 5 to 10 of them every single week. And I look at them and I try to find connections between different notes. I dive into my note taking app and try to connect things together. In order to do that, you need two things. You need an application that can backlink things. So if I press add here, I can actually backlink things. Um, and you also need to set up the time to do something like that. So you need backlinking and you need to spend time in order for you to do those two things. I know that some applications actually have a review feature, which is just even better. Uh, and that is amazing. But if you don't have that, it isn't a necessity. Also, one thing that is important to keep in mind is that you have to have a few notes for this to actually work. It doesn't work with 3 to 5, 7, 8 notes. And another thing that is really important about that practice is actually, if I go back here, it's actually that it does not work with your project management side of things. So again, if I jump into my, let's go back, if I jump into my social media dashboard here, it doesn't work to connect these things just simply because these are project management things. They are related to a specific project, and I define my YouTube videos as a project. I also do other kinds of project management, for example, for my day job inside of Craft, and that is a totally different type of note taking. So that is the second thing. I'm actually going to spend time reviewing my notes. And the third one is actually the probably the weirdest one, because I often talk about spending too much time trying to optimize my system, spending too much time trying to clean up my note-taking app. And I'm actually going to spend more time cleaning my note-taking app, which is different. Let me try to explain what I mean by that. So I heard this idea that taking notes or having a note-taking app, moving a note-taking app is like moving between homes, which made me start thinking about the fact that in your home you sometimes have to do deep cleans. You sometimes have to change the decoration. You have to move things as you get too many things. You maybe have to remove a couple of things or change the way everything is set up in your house. I think that same thing applies to your note taking. Like as this grow, as I get more and more and more notes, I might actually have to change up the way I take my notes. It might be different as this grow. I might actually have to add a relation to relate it back to something else in order to find the thing I am looking for. I might have to spend some time actually going through a couple of these notes and seeing whether or not do I actually want to keep them? Do they actually give me anything? Or is it time to get rid of them, archive them, or even delete them? That is things I want to do more often. Sometimes you just do small, like weekly cleans, but from time to time, just like in your house, you actually have to sit down and do a deep clean of everything and change things up a little bit. That is something I am going to spend more time doing this year because I think it is really important. And that one thing to just keep in mind about that is that note taking, especially this kind of note taking, isn't actual work. It is a way for you to become a better thinker, to become better at connecting dots, and to even become more creative, which is something I want to prioritize this year. So I am going to spend time on that. But that doesn't mean that this is vital for your note taking. A lot of people just want that project management aspect of things. A lot of people just want like being able to do this and having notes related to their project. And if that's you, then you don't need to become a better note taker. But if you take a lot of book notes that you want to do something about later, or you read that great article which you forgot about just a couple of weeks later, if you're that kind of person, some of these tips might actually help you out. I have been testing them out for a while, and I've decided that these are going to be things I will be implementing this upcoming year. As usual, if you have any questions, please do leave them down below and I will try to get to them as soon as I can. And I will do an updated video in the middle of the year next year where I talk about how this has actually been for me. As usual, thank you so much for watching today's video.